today, but I'm going to say a few words to start. I don't know how long it's been since public transportation has been considered for the city of Leavenworth. It probably goes back 15, 20 years. How do we get people around? But looking back in my notes since I've been here, I found a couple important dates that I just wanted to share with you. I keep every email I've received since I've been in this position, so it wasn't too hard to find them. On August 2nd, 2016, the city of Leavenworth hosted a regional transportation meeting at the Riverfront Community Center. Then Mayor Pro Tem Bowder and I attended that meeting. The topic of that meeting was how can we improve transit in the Kansas City region. That was 6 years, 9 months, and 2 days ago. 3 weeks after that, then Mayor Bowder and I set up a meeting with Ron Acapul of Mark, and then KCATA CEO Robbie McKinnon to talk about what would public transportation look like in Leavenworth. This gives you an idea of how long something like this takes. The next date, in April of 2017, the City Commission formally added public transportation to its adopted goals. That then makes it a priority of staff. We start looking into grants and funding and partnerships, and that was in 2017. By mid-October of 2017, this community was holding its first stakeholder advisory committee for what at that point was the Leavenworth County Transit Plan. We had, in about a year, gotten the county support, stakeholders, elected officials, and key people in the community formed around this idea. And then in June 12th of 2019, there was a community-wide meeting of county officials, city officials from throughout the county, the fort, planners, elected officials, to begin narrowing down the actual offerings that would become RideLV. And I have the pamphlet from that meeting where we talked about the need in the area and what transportation could look like in the city of Leavenworth and in Leavenworth County. The final thing I wanted to hit on here is that we can't possibly name everybody that's been involved in these efforts over the time. But from the city's perspective, there are 10 commissioners who have held a city commission seat from that time we had that first meeting till when RideLV launched. And I think it's important to name them. So Commissioners Debke, Preisinger, Weekly, Bowder, Rainey, Griswold, Wilson, Leonhard, Hengula, and Martin have all been involved in some way along the path. Something like this can't be done over one group. It certainly can't just be done by one or two people. It takes an effort. And then also for the city side, just very shortly, our city planning and community development director, Julie Hurley, and then two other people, Julie McKeel and also Mary Dwyer, who's no longer with the city, worked really hard on getting the grants for these through the delays in the buses and then eventually launching RideLV. So from the city perspective, thank you for coming. And I'm going to turn it over now to our mayor, Mayor Jermaine Wilson.
How you all doing today? Well, it is an honor and a privilege to be able to serve as your mayor. I just want to thank you all for coming out today. We get a chance to celebrate this occasion. It is great. It's been a long time coming, and I'm excited that we all get a chance to celebrate it together. There are many things that I love about this community, but the thing that I love the most, anytime that there is a need in our community, the citizens unite together to meet that need. And today we get a chance to celebrate because the need is being met for our community. RideLV is a result of several resources that came together as a community. This city commission decided they wanted to give people a chance to go to work, to the doctor's office, or to reach to the grocery store or the pharmacist. We could not have done this without the help of the Guidance Center. It may seem unusual for a behavior clinic to take the lead on the transportation system, but our partners stepped up to serve as operators after decades of transporting clients in need of mental health support. Currently, this facility operates 4 separate programs to clients. RideLV is the first program to provide transportation for everyone. I mean, everybody. Some special people in here. Rachel Sweet, who wrote the grant that made this program possible. Bruce Logan, who managed several of the guidance centers. previous transportation programs and is providing his expertise to RideLV. We also want to just thank our great new drivers, dispatchers, and support staff. Can you all stand up, please? All right, drivers. Thank you all for what you do. We also like to thank the Kansas Department of Transportation for providing this grant program, our elected officials for continued support of funding, especially my fellow commissioners and past commissioners that supported this initiative. RideLV is a demand response operation in which riders use an app to request a ride or pay cash. It only costs a flat $2 rate. This means $2 per person per direction. Anyone is eligible to ride. Rides are limited to location within the city of Leavenworth city limits. Vans will operate 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. The launch of RideLV also coincided with the KCATA's switch to a new app, Iris by Ride Company. This new app helped provide us with more detailed data about how the rides are being scheduled, destination points, needs of the riders, and more. Currently, this program is only available in the city of Leavenworth, with 4 destinations for medical offices in Lansing, including the local dialysis center. All of our feedback has been positive so far from riders, saying things like fantastic, very friendly, very courteous, and comes on time and very nice. Thank you all for this amazing service. In closing, I would like to say, Leavenworth, we are a community that serves together to meet the needs of our people. Today we have met the need of our community, and we have a lot to be grateful for. Thank you for everyone in the services that you're providing. God bless you. At this time, I would like to have my fellow commissioner, Ms. Nancy Batter, who's been working hard, diligently, pushing this initiative forward. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Wow, you said everything. I need to say now. I didn't write any notes or anything down. I'm just going to speak from the heart. But, over 8 years ago, we had a community needs assessment done, and the Community Sisters of Charity conducted it. And there was like a lot of needs in the community, and we met with all the churches, we met with all the organizations, we met with businesses, we met with everybody to see what our needs were for our citizens. And the biggest one that came out was transportation. And that was the start of it. And then when I got elected to the commission, that was my goal. I have several goals for when I served on when I wanted to serve on the commission. I had several goals, but this was the one big one that I had. And I'm so honored that everybody has come together and made this a reality. We aren't meeting all the needs yet, but we are meeting a lot of them now. There was discussion about how would this look? Would we have regular bus stops? Well, you can't have, I don't think you could do regular bus stops until you see where people are going to be going. Is that right, sir? Yes. I'm talking to the president of the KCATA executive director here, Mr. Frank White. He is here with us today, and we're very grateful for the ATA and all that you've done to help us along with this project. We couldn't have done it without you, obviously. But anyway, it's been a long ride, and we are learning every day. We're learning every week. We look at the results of what people are saying about the rides. I'm hearing from citizens saying, we need this, why aren't you running at night, why aren't you, different things. But we need to see what gaps that we need to fill. But the main thing is to get started, and this is a pilot program. It's a 3-year program, and I think the microtransit was the best choice for this. So I want to thank, I know Mayor thanked everybody again. Thank you again to the Guidance Center. Without you, we would have really had to start from scratch on setting up a program for this. So we appreciate everything that you do, and our partnership is a really good one. So that's all I have to say. Thank you all for supporting this.
Next, we'll hear from Leavenworth County Commissioner Ms. Vicki Cause, who is also the county's representative on the board of the Kansas City Area Transit Authority.
I'd like to say that I have big shoes to fill by being the replacement for Nancy Bowder, and I have about 3 more years on the Transit Authority and a year and a half on as a county commissioner, so I have a little bit of time beyond that, but I have accomplished a lot of goals as a county commissioner, and now I have a new goal to bring to our citizens, and that is to try to expand the services that might be able to be provided by the Kansas City Area Transit Authority for the citizens of Leavenworth County. No pressure, Frank.
You're my boss.
I'm the boss. But I would like for Frank White III to stand so that we can recognize him. He is our new executive director. We just appointed him in the past several months, so in January, and I think that he's going to do an incredible job for us. So I just want to thank you all for coming today and assure you that we are looking at how we can grow RideLV, and then potentially get RideLV all the way into Kansas City. So thank you very much.
Hey, Vicki.
And then finally, Dr. Adam Bowman-Wiggs, have you come up? The Executive Director of the Guidance Center.
All right, if no one objects, I will go ahead and skip this. I have extensive theater training, so hopefully you can hear me as well. But I definitely want to begin, first of all, by expressing appreciation for all of those who have expressed appreciation to us. It has been a delight to be able to be involved in this process. But at the same time, I also need to acknowledge that my personal engagement has been relatively minimal. The real credit for helping spearhead this on the Guidance Center end is our former executive director, Keith Rickard, who retired April 1st, and I stepped up into his role. So I get to bask in the glow of his accomplishments. As I said at his retirement party, I feel like he spent 32 years building this gorgeous rebuilt Camaro, and I get to drive it around. And that's very much what it feels like. So even though Keith cannot be here this evening, he does send his appreciation and his recognition of the work that everyone contributed to making this possible. And I'm going to segue and allow actually our Director of Transportation, Bruce Logan, to come up and say a little bit more specifically about the service. But what I want to say is that...
All right, thanks everybody for being here. Sorry I'm not dressed up like everybody else. I've kind of been driving today a lot, so get our clients and customers around town. But first off, I'd like to introduce our dispatcher, Brian Gillespie. If he'd stand up, please. Driver Patrick Sullivan, Greg Rivera, and Don Zellner. They've all done a great job. We're getting a lot of positive feedback. This is my hometown. It's a lot of theirs hometown too. So we want to see this program work, and we take a lot of interest in it. So we have been getting very positive feedback. It's going well. We're kind of built for to increase ridership. We didn't really get snowed under right at first, and we're able to build. For instance, we'd have like so many rides per day, and now that's increasing every day, and we have more people using the app. We have more people calling on the phone. The word is getting out, and we're able to accept more customers. And for me personally, it has been a lot of fun. I do like to get the feedback. I have driven the vans a little bit myself, and I know a lot of the people around town. Like I said, this is my hometown. So I don't want anything but success for it, and I could see us eventually someday linking up with the metro area to get our folks, in town, downtown, things of that nature. So I think we're built to get us to that point someday. So I'm just very fortunate to be in this position, and I just like the opportunity. I like what I'm doing. So that's about all I have, and we will change maybe some times. I think I talked to you about that. We're getting some feedback, and we can work on that to meet customer demand and get everybody to where they need to be. So That's all I have. If anybody's got any questions.
Do we have anybody from KDOT here? There's two organizations I want to make sure we also recognize. Kansas Department of Transportation, our grant partners on this, have really provided expertise and guidance along with KCATA, a huge organization in making this come to fruition. And then finally, the Mid-America Regional Council, the work that they've done in guiding transportation efforts throughout the metropolitan area, the guidance they've given us, their expertise in planning with Mark has been crucial to this too. So those organizations, along with, of course, the Guidance Center, KCATA, the city, and the support we've gotten from the community. So that's all we have. We really appreciate everybody coming out, and please help yourself to some cookies before you leave. Thank you.
You got that stuff, and then